So if I can get this, there we go. So if I can get the light focused
Yeah.
in one little spot, you can already see we're getting a little bit of smoke coming off of here.
Yeah. See that.
So if we get a nice sunny day and our cloud's just going there, so clouds just dropped over, coming back again. So the intensity of our sunlight is going to really affect our ability for this method to work. But if we can get that focus point, there we go. And I'm looking for sort of an edge of my wood to try and get that focus in place and get that burn going. So if I have a little bit of persistent sunlight, I can turn that smoke into an ember and then extract a bit of wood out of there, pop it in with some tinder and kindling, and we can get it going. So unfortunately we're a bit intermittent. There we go, we got our sunlight again. You see how quickly it does actually take is once we've got a little bit of sunshine and we get our angle just right to get our focus, that heat gets applied really quickly, even from just a small mirror and fit in the palm of your hand. So there we go. So while we've got some sunshine, you can see how quickly we can get our smoke and our heat off of here. See if we can show you another method as well. So our parabolic mirror reflects and focuses the photons from the sun, and what we've got here is a magnifying glass. So this bends the light and focuses it. So this one reflects the light, this one bends the light. So if I can get a little bit of sunshine, hopefully you can see on this piece of wood I've got a little circle of light here. So I want to try and get that circle as small as I can and as focused as I'm able. And then hopefully you can see we're already getting some smoke on there. Now I'm only doing this on a large flat piece of wood. Now in one of the other videos I was talking about the size of your fuel versus the size or the heat of your flame. So I'm not going to be able to set this bit of wood on fire because my heat is relatively small and this is quite a large piece of wood. Because I don't want to start a fire right now because we're surrounded by lots of other wood chips and things, and this is just a sort of a demonstration. So I'm showing you how much heat there is by scorching, but the problem that you have with this kind of method is the bottom of lots of glass bottles have a little bit of shaping like a magnifying glass. They're curved, so they bend the light and they focus it into a small point. And once you've got it focused, you can see how quickly you can start getting enough heat to scorch wood. Now, every summer, pretty much, around this area and in North Yorkshire, we get moorland fires. Now, some of them are started by people who don't use barbecues correctly, but they can be started by people throwing glass bottles onto the ground. And if the ground gets very dry and the heather gets very dry and the sun hits that glass bottle just right or just wrong, if you imagine it, then this is exactly what happens. The light gets bent, focused, and it heats it up and you start getting a moorland fire. Now imagine if you've got a small area of dry grass, dry leaves, dry little twigs and stalks, how quickly and easily that's going to burn, when you can see how easily and quickly just a little bit of sunlight, and it's not a hot day, it's not a fantastically sunny day today, but even so I can scorch this large piece of wood really easily. And it's one of the reasons why it's incredibly important when you're out walking. One of the first rules of something called bushcraft, another thing I teach people, is to leave no trace. Everything you take with you when you go into the outside environment, you must take home with you. Because if you leave things behind, then you've no idea what can happen to them. And if you leave things like glass bottles behind, this is exactly the kind of things that you can get happen if you leave them in the wrong place. So even a little bit of sunlight focused into a small space can give you an awful lot of heat. So our magnifying glass and our parabolic mirror, again, different methods of working with heat and flame, but started in the early Bronze Age. We were using the technology then, and even today solar we're still using in solar panels, we're using it in refraction, and we're using it in solar towers now to create electricity. So still that ancient technology of using the sun and fire that drove our civilization out of the caves and out of the Stone Age and into the modern age is still exactly the same source and technology we're using today to send satellites into space and to generate electricity for all our 21st century technology. So a couple more items there to sort of have a look at.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jack.